Lil Mo was on the Breakfast Club this morning. Well, probably technically yesterday. She was their first interview of the year. And I would say that it had impact. People were still talking about Charlemagne gifting DJ Envy a prosthetic of his butt, but he already said he was going to do that. People clearly don't listen to the Breakfast Club like they say they do, because I knew that was going to happen. But Lil Mo is no longer with Dynamite KO. Lil Mo talks about multiple things, how it was an abusive relationship, how she was addicted to opioids, how her manager was really the one that was like, hey, you want to break this addiction, right? So you're going to have to do cold turkey. And she felt like she was going to die multiple times from the withdrawal symptoms. And she overcame it, but apparently she's been dealing with opioid addiction for a while. I guess after, what was it? Did she say certain pregnancies or whatever, she would be prescribed more? It was terrible. It was terrible. And I felt really bad. And we knew that Lil Mo was off. So I appreciate her honesty saying, hey, here's why I was acting the way that I was acting. I was not in my right mind. And it was sad because I don't know if I knew this or not, but Lil Mo said at the beginning of age 4, she was actually molested by, thankfully not family members. She said her and her family is very close, and she trusts her family with her kids. That's not the issue. It was a church member who actually was molesting her and her sister. And so at one point she was just like, leave my sister alone. If you're going to continue to do this, just leave my sister out of it. Oh, I felt so bad. And she was saying how during, marriage boot camp, that her and Dynamite really weren't together, but they're already a part of the show. And no. Was it Marriage Boot Camp or was it Love and Hip Hop? One of the reality shows that they're on, they weren't together anymore, but still to keep up appearances. And it's just sad because Lil Mo was super talented. Everyone knows that, everyone sees that, everyone hears that. And so then it was always kind of, all right, why isn't your career bigger? And it was because the issue wasn't focusing on her family. Trust and believe, that was not the issue. It was the relationships that she would get into with these other men. It would just become her previous ex-husband, and then with Dynamite, and she just kept choosing the wrong guys for her, one after the other, and then dealing with being addicted to opioids. That's a lot. And then having, she had 5 kids, and basically being responsible for all of them, and then trying to sort through your own mess. I just felt really bad. It was good to see her in great spirits. Seemed very clear. I did not expect to see Jessica Dime there. No, I did not. I did appreciate hearing her story. I kind of forgot that Jessica Dime has a child. I believe she has a daughter, because I do watch Love and Hip Hop. So I believe she has a daughter. She's still married. And she said that she has to take a break from the regular setup of reality TV, because I forgot that she was signed to Flow Rider. She was signed to Flow Rider. And yeah, people were calling her music stripper fight music. But guess what became popular 3 years later? Stripper fight music. I mean, really more so street stripper fight music. But we get what she's saying. She's saying it was one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, I'm not going to take you seriously doing this, but I'll take her seriously doing this. And that happens in the industry all the time. The person or the people who maybe are trying to come out and this is their life and this is what they do, they may get blocked. A year later, and maybe the coolest trend, or 2 years later. Happens all the time. And every time it's messed up. So I did feel bad for her for that. Her and Lil Mo are working on a song together. I did not listen to it because I wanted to keep the integrity of how I felt about them and in the interview that they had. Versus hearing the song, and if I didn't like it, I would come on here and it would be a completely different video. So to avoid that, I did not listen to the song yet. Lil Mo, she talks about being signed or being people wanting to sign her at age 18. When she mentioned Green Acres Mall, I said, "Oh my gosh!" And Long Island said, "Oh my gosh!" I remember. I loved that mall when I was little. You couldn't tell me nothing. We're going to where? Okay. All right. We're going to spend how many hours there? Okay. Because I just loved that mall. I just loved the mall. And then when they put in the Applebee's right before that's not the point. That is not the point of this video. Was there anything else that you thought about? Because a lot of it talked about also Charlemagne. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So Charlemagne, because he's on this really, let's get to the root of people's mental issues. When she was talking about Carl, aka Dynamite KO, talking about Carl and the abuse and the verbal abuse, because apparently he beat up his ex-girlfriend or something just last year. She was constantly bailing him out of jail, and does acknowledge that the mentality of a boxer to go from literally fighting for your life in the cage and then expect it to come out and just be a regular normal person outside of it. Like, there's no, like, how does that make sense? But again, not saying that the abuse was justified. A lot of people were upset because they felt like Charlemagne was putting too much focus on, yeah, but what's the psychological issue with Carl? I understand what Charlemagne was trying to do, because realistically, you have to think about it. He's still going to be in this world. He's still going to be interacting with people in this world. If it's like, okay, rally around, get a hold of this dude before he kills someone, possibly kills himself, because of his actions, because of his mentality, that'd be great. But I think that when it was asked was the problem, and so much of a focus on it, what would be interesting is if they invite Carl and say, hey, because you don't get that. You don't get that. It's usually the woman who has to go and speak up about it. And so I'm glad Lil Mo's better. I'm glad that she kicked her habit. I'm glad that she, acknowledged how addicted she was. She was functioning on it. She would take it especially if there's any problems she was going through, she would take it, then be good. But then once the high was over, Cynthia was going through it. And I'm happy that she's no longer with her ex. A lot of people were saying how that didn't make sense, because there was just so many things Lil Mo was saying and doing that just did not make sense. But now we know why it didn't make sense, because she was off. She was high. It makes all the sense in the world now. She was high. And people were saying it, but it's one thing to say it and one thing to experience it, because Lil Mo was always animated and extra. But it did seem to change at one point. So now we know why it seemed to change at one point. There was, like I said, if there's anything else that I missed, please let me know. There is video of Azriel, who was one of R. Kelly's girlfriends who was defending him. She's over it. She got into a fight with Joycelyn Savage, and there's video of it. I actually have a video of that. That'll probably be up first before I put this video up. And I also am doing a quick recap for the haves and have-nots. Yes, I am back in full swing, and I am so thankful. 2020 has started off so well for my channel. I've kind of figured out the formula of really getting the support of social media, and I plan to do some big things. So I hope that you're on the journey with me. I appreciate everyone who's been watching my videos on and off over the years, or even if you just watch one, even if you just click, even if you just did one thumbs up ever just left one comment. Thank you. Because like I said, playtime is over. It is over. Okay, bye.